There comes a moment in life, a quiet but profound realization, when you understand that not every person, not every situation, truly merits your emotional energy or a spoken word. Not every battle is yours to enter. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply turn your focus inward and choose silence. And let me tell you, silence isn't a sign of weakness. No, silence is a potent form of strength, a whisper of wisdom that reminds you that you don't owe anyone an explanation, nor do you need to prove your worth to a single soul. This profound quietude is not weakness. It is, in fact, immense strength. Many mistakenly believe that if you don't fire back, if you don't engage in a shouting match, if you don't loudly defend your corner, then you must be powerless. Yet, the truth is strikingly different. It demands far greater inner resilience to remain poised and calm amidst a storm of chaos than it does to simply yell louder. Silence isn't the absence of power, it's the very embodiment of control. It demonstrates that you are not merely a puppet swayed by the external noise, but rather a soul guided by an unwavering inner compass. When you consciously choose silence, you are essentially telling yourself that your precious energy won't be squandered on trivialities that will hold no meaning tomorrow. You are reaffirming that your inner peace is an invaluable treasure, far more precious than winning some fleeting argument. Silence gifts you the clarity to see things anew. By stepping back from an immediate reaction, you create the vital space needed to truly grasp the situation at hand. Words, once unleashed in anger, can never be fully retrieved, leaving behind a trail of regret. But silence spares you from those painful aftermaths. It safeguards your dignity. It grants you the crucial moments to breathe, to pause, and to absorb the larger tapestry of events. In that sacred pause, you come to understand that not every action necessitates a reaction, and not every insult deserves a reply. By remaining silent, you allow the other person's words to reveal their own character, rather than allowing them to define yours. Strength, in its truest form, isn't about ceaselessly proving yourself to everyone you meet. It's about possessing such an unshakable confidence in your own value that the need for external validation simply dissolves. This kind of silence blossoms from that very confidence, from the deep-seated knowing that your worth is entirely independent of what others might think or say. You have no obligation to justify your life choices to those who aren't walking your unique path. You certainly don't need to diminish your own standards to fit neatly into someone else's expectations. Your silence transforms into your shield, a subtle yet powerful reminder that you soar above the petty dramas of the world. When you consistently practice this profound silence, you also become a vigilant protector of your own energy. Every single word you utter costs you energy, and if you continually expend it on those who have no genuine interest in understanding, you will soon find yourself utterly depleted. Silence empowers you to redirect that vital energy back into your own growth, your heartfelt dreams, and your overarching goals. It offers you the quiet space to truly listen to your own heart, to reconnect with that inner voice that so often gets drowned out. In a world relentlessly saturated with noise, silence becomes your sanctuary, a sacred haven where your thoughts can truly breathe, undisturbed and clear. There is also an undeniable wisdom etched within silence. The truly strong individuals in any room are rarely the loudest. They are the ones who observe keenly, listen intently, and patiently await the opportune moment. Silence possesses a formidable power because it defies argument. Words can be skillfully twisted and contorted, but silence? Silence cannot be misrepresented. Arguments can spiral into endless, futile exchanges, but silence gracefully brings them to a halt before they even begin. This is the hidden strength of silence, a power that doesn't demand to be flaunted, yet is profoundly felt by all. Silence is a master teacher of patience. It gently reveals that not everything demands an immediate response or action. It helps you grasp that timing is everything, and sometimes the most eloquent reply is simply no reply at all. Within that patient waiting, within that profound stillness, you cultivate resilience. You learn to rise above challenging situations without ever stooping to engage in unnecessary conflict. Silence fortifies you, not by allowing you to ignore reality, but by empowering you to consciously choose peace over turmoil, growth over distraction, and self-respect over meaningless skirmishes. Focusing on yourself is where true healing and profound growth begin. Far too often, we spend our lives gazing outward, preoccupied with what others are doing, comparing our intricate journeys to theirs, and desperately seeking approval from people who may not even genuinely care. In this ceaseless quest for external acceptance, we inevitably lose touch with the very core of our own being. But when you consciously pivot your focus back to yourself, you start to recognize just how much precious energy has been idly wasted on things entirely beyond your control. Focusing on yourself isn't a selfish act, it's a vital declaration of self-awareness. It means acknowledging your own needs, nurturing your own aspirations, and understanding your unique purpose. It means internalizing the truth that you cannot pour from an empty vessel, and you certainly cannot effectively help others if you are broken and depleted within. When you dedicate time to your own well-being, you start to uncover the wounds you've perhaps been ignoring. You begin the arduous yet liberating process of healing, not merely on a physical level, but emotionally and spiritually too. Many times, we mask our pain with a veneer of busyness. We distract ourselves with endless noise, effectively silencing the inner voice that desperately cries out for rest and solace. But healing cannot truly unfold amidst chaos. Healing demands stillness. It requires undivided attention, and that attention can only be cultivated when your focus is firmly centered on yourself. It's within those quiet moments of introspection that you truly understand where you've been hurt, what profound lessons those experiences imparted, and how you can harness them to emerge stronger. Growth, in its essence, is impossible without focused attention. If your gaze is perpetually fixed on others, your own progress will inevitably stagnate. Consider a plant as it grows. It doesn't compete with the vibrant flowers beside it. It simply turns its face toward the light and continues its organic expansion. The same principle applies to us. When you commit to focusing on yourself, you automatically cease comparing your journey to anyone else's. You stop chasing their timelines, and you stop measuring your inherent worth by their arbitrary standards. Instead, you learn to trust the unique rhythm of your own process. You begin to cultivate small, consistent habits that elevate you day by day. You realize that growth isn't about breakneck speed, it's about unwavering, purposeful direction. Focusing inward also grants you the invaluable insight to understand your own strengths and weaknesses. When you diligently attend to your personal path, you uncover what truly makes you unique, what skills you can hone to perfection, and what areas require your careful attention and improvement. You no longer passively wait for external validation of your abilities because you now clearly perceive them for yourself. You begin to celebrate every step of your progress, no matter how seemingly small, because you know it is authentically yours. Each stride you take becomes a victory, and each victory steadily bolsters your confidence. When your focus is directed inward, your relationships also naturally flourish and become healthier. Rather than depending on others to conjure your happiness, you cultivate that happiness from within yourself. Instead of expecting others to mend your wounds, you courageously embrace the responsibility for your own healing. When you operate from a place of genuine wholeness, you effortlessly attract individuals who respect and uplift your energy rather than those who seek to drain it. Your focused attention empowers you to erect boundaries that steadfastly protect your peace. It helps you confidently say no to opportunities that do not genuinely serve your growth and a resounding yes to those that beautifully align with your deepest purpose. The most exquisite gift of focusing on yourself is unparalleled clarity. You shed the burden of living in perpetual confusion, constantly striving to please everyone, and instead, you embrace a life lived with profound intention. You recognize that your journey is uniquely yours, and that comparison is, indeed, a thief of joy. You come to understand that every season of life holds a purpose, even the most challenging ones, for they are the crucible in which you are forged into the magnificent person you are becoming. And within that profound understanding, you truly grow. This growth isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, slow, and imperceptible to those around you. But deep within, a transformative evolution is quietly unfolding. Focus on your journey, not their opinions. Life becomes incredibly burdensome when you choose to carry the weight of what everyone else thinks about you. Every step feels heavier, every decision feels fraught with difficulty, because your mind is constantly assailed by questions like, what will they say? What will they think? Will they approve, or will they criticize? But here's the undeniable truth. No matter how relentlessly you try, you can never ever control another person's opinion. People will invariably perceive the world through their own unique lens, a lens shaped by their personal experiences, their deep-seated insecurities, and their ingrained judgments. If you constantly adjust your path to appease everyone else, you will inevitably find yourself utterly lost, far, far away from your own authentic purpose. That is precisely why focusing on your journey is the ultimate liberation. It is the conscious decision to tune out the distracting noise and, instead, listen to the powerful calling of your own soul. Your journey is exquisitely unique. No two individuals possess the exact same story, the identical lessons to learn, or the same perfect timing. When you keep looking at others, comparing their pace to yours, you inevitably begin to doubt the validity of your own path. Yet, flowers don't all bloom simultaneously, and stars don't all twinkle at the exact same moment. Everything unfolds precisely when it is meant to. When your focus is squarely on your own journey, you learn to trust that your timing is perfect, even if it appears different from everyone else's. You begin to genuinely value your own progress, rather than measuring it against someone else's yardstick. Every tiny step forward becomes deeply meaningful, for you know it is propelling you closer to your fundamental truth. Opinions have the power to distract you, but only if you grant them that power. They hold precisely as much sway as you choose to give them. When you stop feeding them with your precious attention, they simply lose their grip on you. What others say cannot define who you are, unless you willingly accept it as truth. Focusing on your journey means deliberately filtering out those external voices and choosing, instead, to hearken to your own inner guidance. It means unwavering belief in your vision, even when others around you cannot yet perceive it. Oftentimes, the people in your immediate circle will not comprehend your path, and that is perfectly all right, because that path wasn't given to them, it was entrusted to you. Remaining steadfast on your journey also builds an unshakable resilience. The road will assuredly not always be smooth, and setbacks are an inevitable part of the landscape. But when your gaze is firmly fixed on your destination, you learn to rise gracefully after every stumble. Opinions may declare that you are failing, but your unwavering focus whispers that it is merely a lesson. Opinions may label you as slow, but your focus gently reminds you that even incremental progress is still progress. The deeper your commitment to your unique path, the less you are affected by the discouraging voices that seek to derail you. Focusing inward also allows you to uncover aspects of yourself you might have missed entirely if you were too busy looking outward. You begin to notice your innate strengths, your true passions, and your boundless potential. You embark on a journey of exploration, discovering what truly ignites your spirit, what imbues you with purpose, and what brings you profound joy. This kind of self-discovery only occurs when you are unburdened by the judgments of others. It requires the brave silence of ignoring their opinions and the profound courage of listening to your own authentic self. The most beautiful outcome of focusing on your journey is the unparalleled peace it bestows. You no longer feel the crushing pressure to explain yourself, to constantly justify your decisions, or to chase fleeting validation. You simply walk your path with unwavering trust. You learn that not everyone has to agree with you. Not everyone has to offer their support, and not everyone has to believe in you. What truly matters is that you continue to move forward, you continue to grow, and you continue to honor the singular journey that belongs solely to you and no one else. Not every battle, truly, deserves your response. Life will inevitably present countless situations where people will try to provoke you, where words will be hurled at you, designed to test the very limits of your patience, where circumstances will conspire to drag you into utterly unnecessary conflicts. The stark reality is, you simply cannot afford to lavish your precious time and energy on every single disagreement that crosses your path. Some battles are nothing more than cleverly disguised distractions, meticulously designed to erode your peace, monopolize your focus, and divert you from your profound purpose. When you cultivate the wisdom to step back, to calmly observe, and to maintain your composure instead of reacting instinctively, you powerfully shield yourself from squandering your vital energy on matters that hold absolutely no long-term value. Responding to every slight or every negative comment might offer a fleeting sense of satisfaction in the moment, but it invariably leaves you feeling hollow and drained afterward. It's akin to desperately pouring water into a bucket riddled with holes. It never truly fills, and it only serves to exhaust you. Some individuals engage in arguments not with the genuine intention of seeking truth, but simply to generate noise and disruption. If you allow yourself to join them, you'll find yourself trapped in an endless cycle of explanations and defensive rhetoric that will never, ever lead to peace. Choosing not to respond is never a sign of weakness. It is, in fact, a profound mark of wisdom. It demonstrates that you possess the discernment to differentiate between a conflict that genuinely matters and one that is utterly meaningless. When you consciously reserve your responses for matters of true significance, you keep your dignity not only intact but elevated. You refuse to allow anger to dictate your actions. Instead, you allow crystal-clear clarity to illuminate your path. Each time you resist the impulse to fight a battle that is utterly beneath you, you are powerfully reaffirming to yourself what truly holds importance. Your energy is an incredibly precious resource, and you only have a finite amount of it each day. If you freely give it away to needless conflicts, you will find yourself with nothing left for the dreams you are meticulously building, the ambitious goals you are pursuing, and the deep healing you are diligently cultivating. Protecting your energy means possessing the astute awareness of when to speak and, perhaps more importantly, when to remain gracefully silent. Some battles are also nothing more than illusions, masterfully crafted by the ego. The ego's insatiable desire is to continually prove itself right, to demonstrate its perceived superiority, to be stronger, smarter, better than others. Yet, the more you indulge that ego through pointless arguments, the more you inevitably forfeit your precious inner peace. True strength emanates from the courage to walk away when you know, deep down, that a fight serves no genuine purpose. True courage resides in silence, in the profound act of letting go, in refusing to allow yourself to be dragged into negativity. The more you learn to release what is truly not worth fighting for, the more expansive space you create within yourself for exponential growth, profound learning, and enduring peace. It's also profoundly important to remember that not everyone merits access to your reactions. When you react to every single provocation, you are inadvertently granting others power over your most sacred emotions. But when you consciously choose silence, you reclaim that power decisively. You demonstrate that your emotional landscape is not dictated by the fleeting words or actions of others. You establish a firm boundary that unequivocally declares, "My peace is not negotiable." That boundary serves as an unyielding guardian for your heart, your mind, and your future. The battles that do deserve your thoughtful response are the ones that fundamentally shape your character, the ones that catalyze your growth, the ones that beautifully align with your deepest values. These are the battles truly worth fighting for. But the minor skirmishes, the petty arguments, the empty words, those are the ones you must purposefully rise above. Choosing your battles wisely is the undeniable hallmark of maturity. It signifies that you no longer waste time attempting to prove yourself in arenas where the outcome holds no genuine consequence. Instead, you channel your energy strategically toward constructing a life filled with purpose, a life where your silence becomes your formidable strength and your restraint transforms into your profound wisdom. People will invariably talk. Let them. No matter what commendable actions you take, no matter how genuinely kind your heart beats, no matter how pure your intentions, there will perpetually be voices swirling around you, eager to judge, to criticize, and to misinterpret. Some will fabricate stories, some will scrutinize your choices, and some will vehemently doubt your capabilities. You possess no control over their words, but you hold absolute dominion over your own focus. If you spend your precious life attempting to silence every external voice, you will never find the quiet moments to truly listen to your own. People talk because it is effortless. It costs them nothing, zero effort. But what it can cost you is your invaluable peace, especially if you allow their opinions to burrow too deeply into the sanctity of your heart. When you fully accept the undeniable truth that people will talk, regardless of your actions, you liberate yourself from the suffocating prison of constantly seeking approval. You cease running in desperate circles, attempting to please every single person, because the profound truth is, even if you execute everything flawlessly, someone, somewhere, will inevitably find fault. That is simply the intrinsic nature of human beings. They perceive the world through their own unique filters, shaped by their own pains, their own jealousies, or their own profound misunderstandings. Their words are a far greater reflection of who they are than who you are. When you truly grasp this, you cease taking their chatter personally. You begin to perceive it as mere background noise, something that occurs but warrants no emotional reaction from you. Allowing people to talk doesn't imply your agreement with them. It simply signifies your conscious decision not to squander your energy attempting to prove them wrong. Arguments are powerless to change minds that are already firmly closed. Explanations cannot satisfy hearts that have already resolved to doubt you. The only thing that truly speaks volumes is your consistent actions and the life you meticulously build. Over time, your tangible results, your unyielding resilience, and your unwavering consistency will silence far more critics than any words you could ever utter. Success doesn't necessitate a loud voice, it speaks powerfully for itself. When you permit people to talk, you also vigilantly protect your mental space. Every time you engage with unnecessary criticism, you invite negativity directly into your life. That negativity has the insidious power to erode your confidence and distract you from your destined path. But when you remain steadfastly focused on yourself and your unique journey, the external noise gradually fades into a distant hum. The opinions of others lose their grip and their power because you no longer fuel them with your precious attention. You come to the profound realization that your growth, your healing, and your inner peace are far too vital to be sacrificed for meaningless chatter. It demands immense strength to remain silent when others are speaking ill of you. It requires profound maturity to walk away without feeling the need to defend yourself. But within that stillness, within that silence, you forge character. You remind yourself that you are not, and never will be, defined by their fleeting words. You are defined by your principled actions, your core values, and your unwavering perseverance. People will perpetually talk, but it is entirely your choice whether you allow their voices to guide you or merely distract you. With the passage of time, you will inevitably observe that those who indulge in endless talk eventually grow weary, while those who act purposefully continue to surge forward. Life profoundly rewards action, not idle gossip. It rewards laser-like focus, not needless distraction. So, while others are preoccupied with talking about you, you remain steadfastly busy building yourself. You allow your silence to be your answer, your focus to be your undeniable proof, and your continuous growth to be your eloquent reply. People will always talk, but you are not obligated to stop and listen to every single word. Let them talk while you keep walking. Protect your peace by consciously choosing silence. In this relentlessly noisy world, peace stands as one of the most exquisite and rare treasures you could ever possess. Every single day, individuals will attempt to ensnare you in their personal chaos, to drag you into their arguments, and to provoke you into reacting. They crave your participation in their storm because, as the saying goes, storms love company. But you are not obliged to step onto every battlefield. You don't always have to explain, to defend, or to retaliate. Sometimes, the most potent act of self-care you can perform is to simply remain silent and fiercely guard your inner peace. Peace is not an external gift. It is a profound state you painstakingly cultivate within yourself. It is the deep calm that blossoms when you cease reacting to every distraction, when you stop offering your precious attention to those who thrive on conflict. Your silence, then, becomes the impenetrable wall that protects this precious calm. Every time you consciously choose not to engage with negativity, you are effectively preserving your vital inner energy. Every time you choose to walk away instead of escalating an argument, you keep your mind light and your heart secure. Protecting your peace does not signify an avoidance of life. It signifies a discerning choice about what truly deserves your attention and what does not. Silence is a formidable shield. When harsh words are hurled your way, silence acts as a barrier, preventing those words from piercing too deeply. When situations escalate and emotions run high, silence shields you from uttering words you might later regret. It grants you the essential space to breathe, to observe, and to comprehend the dynamics before making any move. That shield prevents impulsive reactions and allows you to respond with profound wisdom, should a response genuinely be required. Without silence, peace simply cannot endure. For peace necessitates calmness, and calmness demands restraint. Many mistakenly perceive the act of protecting one's peace as selfish, but in reality, it is absolutely essential. If your heart is perpetually restless, if your mind is incessantly noisy, you cannot offer your best self, either to yourself or to others. Protecting your peace empowers you to show up stronger, kinder, and clearer in the aspects of life that truly matter. It means you value yourself sufficiently to prevent negativity from consuming you. It means you prioritize your personal growth over pointless arguments. Silence plays an indispensable role in this, because silence is not merely the absence of words, it is the powerful presence of self-control. The world will undoubtedly test you with misunderstandings, with criticism, with judgment. But your inner peace does not have to be their playground. When you steadfastly remain silent, you demonstrate that your state of mind cannot be easily shaken by every passing comment. You show that you are grander than the surrounding chaos. And gradually, people begin to realize that they cannot steal your tranquility. They cannot disturb the profound calm you have so diligently protected with your silence. That realization, in turn, makes you stronger and more confident in your ability to remain centered, no matter what storms rage around you. Choosing silence isn't about ignoring reality, it's about intelligently filtering it. It's about letting go of what truly doesn't matter and steadfastly holding on to what genuinely does. It's about refusing to allow temporary emotions to shatter your permanent peace. The more you consciously practice silence, the more you will notice how light you feel, how intensely focused you become, and how profoundly peaceful your heart blossoms. Silence may not alter the external world around you, but it will undeniably transform the entire world within you. Self-respect resonates louder than any argument could ever hope to. There will always be moments when individuals relentlessly push you to defend yourself, when they attempt to corner you with their words, when they deliberately test your patience simply to see if you will break. In those trying moments, many believe the way to demonstrate strength is by raising their voice, by fiercely arguing back, by proving every single point with an onslaught of words. But true, authentic strength doesn't emanate from the volume at which you speak. It originates from the profound depth of your self-respect. When you genuinely respect yourself, you don't feel the compulsion to engage in every argument. You don't feel the need to meticulously explain every decision you make. And you certainly don't need to persuade others of your inherent worth. Your silence in these instances becomes an embodiment of your self-respect. Your calmness transforms into your unwavering dignity. Arguments are often unending precisely because they aren't always about seeking truth, they are fundamentally about ego. And the ego, in its insatiable nature, is never truly satisfied. The more you argue, the more rigidly the opposing side resists. Soon, you find yourself ensnared in a destructive cycle that relentlessly siphons away your peace. But self-respect imparts a crucial lesson. You don't need to fight every battle to validate yourself. When you possess a clear understanding of who you are, you cease striving to convince others. You come to realize that their approval or disapproval holds no power to alter your intrinsic value. Your profound self-respect is not, and never will be, contingent upon their acceptance. Self-respect is the conscious act of choosing silence when words would only diminish you. It is the dignified act of walking away when remaining would only drain your vital energy. It is the firm refusal to allow anyone to drag you down to their level of negativity. This kind of respect cannot be vociferated. It cannot be meticulously explained in arguments. It can only be powerfully demonstrated through the way you carry yourself, with quiet grace and unwavering conviction. People invariably notice when you possess self-respect because it radiates through your boundaries, through your decisions, and through your deliberate silence. It unequivocally shows that you cherish your peace more deeply than you value being perceived as right in someone else's eyes. When you stand firmly rooted in self-respect, you also powerfully protect your own heart. You don't allow insults to deeply pierce your being because you innately know your worth is not defined by them. You don't permit transient opinions to shake your confidence because you have already meticulously built a robust foundation within yourself. Every single time you choose to remain silent instead of entering a conflict that does not genuinely deserve your attention, you are affirming to yourself that your energy is far too precious to be carelessly wasted. That powerful affirmation strengthens you and empowers you to rise majestically above negativity. Self-respect also instills patience. Instead of reacting impulsively to every situation, you learn to step back and engage in thoughtful reflection. You grant yourself the space to meticulously decide whether a response is even necessary. And in the vast majority of cases, you discover that silence is, in fact, the greatest response you could possibly offer. It's not that you are incapable of speaking, it's that you choose not to. That conscious choice exemplifies control, and control is an undeniable sign of true power. The more consistently you practice this, the louder your silence resounds. It begins to echo with unwavering confidence, with profound dignity, with unyielding strength. Individuals who attempt to argue with you will inevitably notice that they cannot perturb your deep calmness. And that, unequivocally, is far more potent than any words you could ever have uttered. Over time, you come to see that self-respect is the fundamental principle that defines your path. It is the guiding compass for your relationships, your professional endeavors, and your life-altering decisions. Arguments fade, dissenting voices disappear. But the profound respect you hold for yourself remains an enduring constant. That respect transforms into your unwavering compass, assisting you in choosing peace over conflict, growth over distraction, and silence over unnecessary noise. And slowly, subtly, without uttering a single word, your very presence begins to speak with an authority that arguments could never hope to achieve. Silence is a profound teacher of both patience and wisdom. In a world where everyone seems to vie to speak first, to respond instantaneously, and to be heard louder than all others, choosing silence can initially feel deeply uncomfortable. But when you learn to genuinely embrace silence, you uncover its myriad lessons that no amount of external noise could ever impart. Silence serves as the essential pause that enables you to perceive the truth with unparalleled clarity. It is that sacred moment when your turbulent emotions settle and your mind gracefully opens. Within that profound stillness, patience is born. You come to realize that not every answer needs to manifest immediately. Not every decision requires haste, and not every emotion needs to be impulsively expressed in the heat of the moment. Patience flourishes when you cease reacting and, instead, begin to keenly observe. Silence grants you the quiet space to watch human behavior unfold, to see how situations organically develop, and how the passage of time often reveals truths that words frequently attempt to conceal. When you are silent, you notice subtleties that others often miss. You discern underlying patterns, you perceive the emotions simmering beneath spoken words, and you grasp intricate details that the clamor of noise effectively obscures. This heightened form of observation cultivates wisdom, because wisdom isn't merely about accumulating facts, it's about deeply understanding people, situations, and the perfect timing. Silence sharpens this understanding in ways that arguments could never accomplish. When you regularly practice silence, you learn to rein in your impulses. Impatience may urge you to reply instantly, and ego may tempt you to assert your rightness. But silence powerfully teaches you that restraint is a far greater force than impulsive reaction. By patiently waiting, by deliberately holding back, you allow time to perform its essential work. Many situations gracefully resolve themselves without any intervention from you. Many arguments lose their fiery intensity when they are simply not fed. And many individuals reveal their true character when you merely observe, rather than engage. That profound patience saves you from regret, because words spoken in haste can inflict deep wounds. But silence, almost universally, requires no apology. Wisdom blossoms when you realize that silence is not an empty void. It is, in fact, brimming with profound meaning. It teaches you that sometimes, saying absolutely nothing speaks the loudest volumes. It demonstrates that a calm, measured response can carry infinitely more weight than 1,000 words angrily shouted. Wisdom grows as you perceive that silence isn't a deficiency of strength, but a discerning awareness of when words are truly worth employing. It's about recognizing the critical distinction between battles that genuinely shape you and distractions that merely shatter you. Silence empowers you to choose wisely, to direct your precious energy solely toward what holds genuine significance. Patience, meticulously cultivated through silence, also significantly strengthens your relationships. Instead of reacting to every single word, you learn to truly listen. Instead of interrupting, you gracefully create space for others to speak. Instead of rushing to defend yourself, you allow genuine understanding to blossom. People feel deeply respected when you listen in attentive silence, and you gain invaluable insight when you choose to genuinely hear before speaking. Wisdom is born in those very moments because wisdom isn't about speaking more, it is about listening more profoundly. Silence also teaches you patience with yourself. It allows you to reflect on your own mistakes without self-judgment, to sit with your own emotions without the urge to flee, to grant yourself the time needed to grow without undue pressure. In silence, you learn to be kind to yourself, to accept that growth is a gradual process, and to understand that healing is not an instantaneous event. This self-patience builds resilience, and resilience, in turn, forms the foundational bedrock of wisdom. The more you embrace silence, the more you recognize it as a perpetual teacher, one that endlessly gives. It teaches you the art of waiting, the skill of observation, the depth of understanding, and the profound wisdom of choosing peace over chaos. Silence may not be loud, but it wields a transformative power that can revolutionize your heart, your mind, and your life itself.